We didn't do anything on college football today. We allowed football Sunday to engulf unfairly football Saturday. TCU won again. TCU had something disastrous and funny happen toward the end of the game. They're winning 17-3. They got a 3rd and 5. Texas isn't going to score anymore, and they do the one thing you cannot do. The running back runs into the quarterback. They fumble the ball. Texas goes back the other way. Why? Because they're college kids. Because they do dumb shit.
Oh, please. The Dolphins had a butt punt this year, Dan.
Yeah.
Also, Buffalo fumbled away the game at their own 1-yard line.
We didn't do anything on that. In talking about the absurdity of that game, Bill's Twitter account tweeted that was game over. We all assumed that was game over.
Too much content.
Should have been game over.
Too much content on a Monday. There's just too much going on the weekend.
They fumbled They fumbled the victory formation. It's hard to do the full proper victory formation when you're in the end zone.
What
That's why
inch
you give up
line?
the safety.
A lot of people said they should have given up a safety there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, people know.
But also, I was astounded in watching that back that the announcer, Joe Davis, knew exactly what happened. Because that's a difficult thing to see from your vantage point at the 50-yard line, and it's just this mass of humanity gathered around the goal line,
Billy,
and he saw the fumble.
What you and Stugotz have done there that is so unfair, is instead of
Play
just
the result.
correctly snapping victory formation,
Yeah.
which Josh Allen is pretty great at his job. You guys are saying, and I don't actually disagree with you. Just snap the ball as hard as you can through the back of the end zone and then kick it to Kirk Cousins. Fuck yourself. I am not in that circumstance kicking it back to Kirk Cousins because he's going to beat me with Justin Jefferson catching an 80-yard pass because it's Kirk Cousins.
What if it was 7:45 at night? Then what do you do, Dan? Huh?
Then maybe
Answer that one.
then maybe I do it differently. But what we saw happen was them take the safety and instead, like, imagine them saying to themselves, we're going to just snap it through the end zone. And then they do it incorrectly, and the Vikings recover it in the end zone.
Well, that's what happened anyway.
Yes.
So you could have given him the safety, then you punted, and then he has to go the length of the field in like 30 seconds.
It's Kirk Cousins, though.
Man.
Yeah.
How
terrified.
often does a
At
fumbled
4:30,
snap
yeah.
happen there? That never happens.
Never
there.
happens in that spot. And by the way, it was still too much time for Josh Allen as he went down the field. And one talking point that I haven't heard anybody mention is finally saw something I've been clamoring for in those late game situations. If you remember, with 5 seconds left in the clock, that's what the play resembled after this play happened. Josh Allen had a wide open receiver in the end zone. Corner was totally beat, forces a defensive pass interference, but the clock runs during that. So the ball moves. So there is really no penalty. The clock is the enemy in this spot. So perfect time to take a defensive pass interference. If you get cooked like that defender did, it actually ended up winning them the game because he intentionally took a DPI to milk the clock.
That's a good point, yeah. But that's karma. That interception at the end is karma. They had no business being there. Gabe Davis did not catch that ball.
I mean,
it was such a great game, man.
I hear that, and yeah, you're right. It's not like they wouldn't have gotten it anyways. They were moving down the
Good
field
points.
so easy. It was
almost
just
like-
gotten it next play.
What was Minnesota
good.
like playing for defensively? These teams were like, you're only up by a field goal or you're trying to defend for a field goal and just giving away 20 yards. Josh Allen can run 9 plays in 40 seconds. Why are you just giving away vast swaths of the field?
Billy, the thing that is your shrine to I don't trust the Bills was yesterday. How do you lose that game that way? How you're dominating the whole game? Josh Allen now leads the league in interceptions. Davis Mills has 9. Matt Ryan has 9. He's got 10, and he does dumb shit. He got away with it last year, and you guys were telling me they've coached it out of him. So Dayball left? Like what?
And Daniel Jones is having a season.
But did they coach him? Did they coach it out of him? Because we're not used to anymore. If Josh Allen can be an MVP talent, and the way the numbers have changed in that game, not if you lead the league in interceptions. That's how you become Jameis Winston. That's how you lose your job, and Tom Brady comes in and wins the championship. They've changed all of that. So now what? Like, Josh Allen, you question them. You love the spot the Dolphins are in, at least in part because you don't trust the Bills to not bill.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get through the whole season and win out and win the Super Bowl. I just think that they're not going to do that.
Because the odds are in one of these playoff games, he's going to throw into double coverage to the fullback 70 yards down the field.
Well, I mean, it's a safe thing to say, right? Because I have a 1 in 32 chance of being wrong.
But yesterday was your glory day, correct? Because that's the game that you think he's going to have in the playoffs one time.
Up
Yeah,
27-10, Billy, and he lost the game,
It
essentially.
just needs to do
Right.
it once in the
Right.
playoffs. That's all.
Yeah. What are we doing to Josh Allen? I mean, 2 weeks ago, he was the MVP. Like,
Yeah.
everyone would have said MVP.
But Stugotz, losing that way. You tell me all the times you've seen victory formation end that way.
I can't.
Let's do funniest thing from the sports weekend.
Hey people, tell us what in the sport made you laugh hardest this weekend. It is a segment we call What Made You Laugh This Weekend. Ha ha ha!
Chris Whittingham, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
The failed pass to Tom Brady.
So good. Why aren't we playing the result on that one? What kind of
'Cause they
call?
won.
What kind of call is that?
Oh, I will happily play the result on that one. What the hell are you doing? Why even have a play in the playbook?
He was
that
wide
involves
open
He
before.
was open.
Yeah, they didn't guard him. They tried that earlier in the game, and they didn't put a defender on him. So they're like, well, shit, if they're just going to leave Tom Brady completely open, let's see if we could exploit this.
I think Tom said try it again. Like, I think he said after the game, I told him I'm open. Try it again.
Do we know if Leonard Fournette has any passing previous where like he can actually execute that?
Stugotz, just to be clear, you took the ball out of the hands
Yeah.
of the greatest passer ever and said, you know what the call is here, up 14-3? Leonard, you throw it. And now you're not going to just throw it to anyone. Throw it to the 45-year-old guy streaking down the sideline. The guy that you would least want catching a pass 30 yards away from you, and one of the guys you least want throwing the pass 30 yards, you chose that as a play.
If he didn't slip, it might have worked. I would have
Yeah.
gone to it again, honestly, because after
One
how
more
badly
time.
it went,
Yeah.
you would have been like, they will not do
Right.
this again. There's
Eventually
no
we'll get it,
chance.
guys.
Yeah.
You know what the problem was? Too good at falling. Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
That
Can't
was
help it.
Fournette's second pass of his career, by the way. He's 0 for 2.
Mike, of all the things that we didn't talk about at the end of that Bills-Vikings game is if Tom Brady still were the quarterback, Cousins couldn't get in on a sneak. Brady would have.
Yep.
Nobody knows how to sneak it like Tom Brady at 45 years old.
Josh Allen's pretty good at it, though. I mean, he is pretty good at it. I mean, I know he had a bad game yesterday.
It is funny how everyone you watch a football game with has the answers when a team needs a yard. There's always the guys shouting, sneak it!
Yeah.
And there's always the guys, just hand it off 4 times and it'll work. And every strategy has failed at some point. But every single football fan at home has the answer.
Tell me the time Brady's failed that option.
Okay, but not everyone has Brady.
Oh.
Notre Dame's been very successful with the tight end sneak this season, which I've been loving.
The Dolphins did that, and it didn't work.
Yes,
And,
yesterday.
and then it's like, you go to Twitter, it's like, oh, Mike McDaniel doing stupid shit again. And it's
Notre Dame might
everyone
have a
has,
better offensive line, though, than the Dolphins.
everyone has the answer. Oh, with a yard to go. Everyone.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does everyone have the answer?
It's just a yard. It can't be that hard. I could get a yard in a football game. Come on.
It's a game of inches.
I did think that we got now with the running back just pushing the quarterback in, like we couldn't get an inch. That's what Kirk Cousins could not at the end of that game get
We
an inch.
think.
Do you know how stupid it is for that game to come down to something like that? Just think about
The
like
two
just
quarterbacks unable to move forward.
the great that's
Because they're on the 1 inch line.
in a game where Justin Jefferson makes that catch. You're giving equal value to Kirk. Can you just sneak in this little ass crack over here and we'll videotape it? And Pereira, stop doing that.
And that damn referee, get your foot out of the way so we can see it.
We go to Pereira now. Why is Pereira making tongue motions off camera? Billy, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Pete Rose wrote a letter to the commissioner of baseball asking for forgiveness again. Dan, we've been working behind the scenes Stugotz and I, and this was supposed to be a Chris Cody take, but he's not here today.
You're right.
And we've been wanting him to have it for a long time. We've decided getting suspended for life from baseball is the best thing that ever happened to Pete Rose.
Yep.
Ever.
Keeps him relevant.
Yep.
Keeps him relevant. Every couple of years, he writes a letter. Oh, there's a new sportsbook opening in Cincinnati. Guess who's making the first legal bet? Pete Rose is on January next year. Would he be doing that if he didn't get suspended for gambling on baseball? No, he wouldn't. He'd just be an old guy with a Prince Valiant haircut you see every year at the Hall of Fame thing on a stage. You're like, who is that
Valiant.
odd-looking person?
Old Charlie Hustle.
Yeah.
Put
Best
it-
thing that could could have happened to him?
Put it
Getting
on the
suspended.
put it on the poll. Is being banned for life the best thing that could have happened for the relevance of Pete Rose? Jessica, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
It's a tough call, but I'm gonna go with Texas A&M losing their 7th game of the season to Auburn and interim head coach Cadillac Williams. Congrats to Cadillac Williams. That team has the #1 talent composite rating in college football right now, and they're 3-7. One of their only wins is over Miami, actually, funnily enough.
They're the first team in, I think, NCAA history. Appreciate the own there. They're one of the first teams the first team in NCAA history to have a losing record after securing the #1 recruiting class the year previous.
It is unprecedented what has happened with that team this year.
And he's got 8 years left on the contract, and they got to buy him
They owe
out for
him
like
$1
$80
billion.
million.
Yeah.
And he
They're
can't
going to have to
develop quarterbacks.
literally rig more oil in the state of Texas to pay off the buyout.
We're gonna have to rig some more oil to pay off the rest
We're
of the
going to have
buyout.
to rig it deep. I mean deep beneath the Earth's crust.
How are you supposed to win a game when Mrs. Med's walking around all there with all that cake?
What?
This Saturday, they're home with UMass. That might be a win
More
for
like
them.
you
The
ass.
Minutemen.
Oh, the U.S. joke. Is Michigan good? Are we sure? Because is
They're
this
good.
But is this okay? They are good, but is this the same thing where Michigan's going to play Ohio State and they're both going to fight for the right to not be as good as whatever the best SEC team is?
Georgia.
Which is yes, it's like this is the game we're going to play. We're going to do.
Yes,
We've
we
done
are.
that one for a while.
I think the margin of victory in the Big Ten championship, if both teams are undefeated, will determine if TCU wins out, I think they'll be in. But if like Clemson gets in, or if LSU somehow gets in with a win over Georgia,
Let's say TCU loses. That's a close game. Michigan, Ohio State. Do both teams get in?
I think so. Yeah,
Tennessee
I think
doesn't
it would
get
be.
in?
I think it'd be Georgia, Tennessee, Michigan, and Ohio State. Honestly, yeah, I think Clemson would be out even if they win the ACC championship. But if it's like a 24-point win and Ohio State wins or Michigan wins, then I think it's kind of a toss-up. I
Does
don't know what's going to happen.
Flavor Flav have any real allegiance to Michigan? Is there any particular reason that he was at the Michigan game this weekend?
Yeah, boy.
Were you answering his question as Flavor Flav?
I mean, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
James Franklin doing push-ups on the sideline. Hit me.
Because he got a penalty, right? And his players, when they get do something dumb, they have to do push-ups on the field. Is that what happened?
It doesn't matter. What matters is the spectacle. It's all for spectacle.
He's leading his men, and they
he's
won third. They won
but it's
big.
fake leadership.
They won
Fake leadership.
it's a-
Thank you, Stugotz.
What if he would have had a heart attack? I don't want to take it to a dark place.
Jesus.
What if he would have had a
Thanks
heart
for not
attack?
taking it
No,
to
I
a
wouldn't
dark
do that.
place.
But what if he would have? That would have been really bad.
Do push-ups when no one's watching.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like every aspect of coaching is more strenuous on the heart than doing push-ups.
Not at that age. Push-ups at
What
that
age?
age.
He's 50. What?
Yeah, at age over 50, Dan. I hate to break
Seemed
it.
easy
No
for Jeff
push-ups.
Saturday. I mean,
No push-ups.
This quickly
Where
became
is-
Dan's mortality.
Push-ups. You believe we should test? We should do faces of death. Push-ups until I die. Mike, what is the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Well, we covered the Mike Pereira thing, so I'll take the opportunity to pass condolences on to two people that passed away that represented something special in my childhood. Kevin Conroy, the voice talent behind Batman and Batman the Animated Series, which if you're a child that grew up during that time, you know how special that was, a quintessential Batman voice. And to Chucky Carr, an original former Florida Marlin. I remember when I was a little kid, I had a baseball that I got as the Chevron giveaways, the Chevron baseball, and my baseball was Chucky Carr. I loved watching him play. I loved hearing Dan's stories. Maybe we can say that for another local hour, but Chuck Carr made me very sad to see that he had passed away. So rest in peace to both of them, and condolences to the family.
but this is funniest thing from the sports weekend. You went
Good
with
job.
death.
Speaking of
thanks.
cars,
Yeah.
Formula One, there was some funny shit that happened this weekend. Maybe you can pick that instead.
Billy, you started this though.
I did no such
You
thing.
did, Billy. You
No.
did. Yes, James Franklin. We were all laughing and stuff, and then you're like, "What about
What if he
cardiac
had a heart
arrest?"
attack?
Yeah, what if?
Cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
you started this. You led him to Chuck Carr. That was sad. Now
there was just we're all excited with Tua, and the local hour passed, and we couldn't really reference Chuck Carr, and I know he meant a lot.
So
to,
you found your
Yeah, it was
opening.
funniest thing in the sports
Funniest
we're
weekend.
out of show. We're running
With
out of
Mike
show
Pereira.
here.
Gallagher died also. He was
Yeah.
on the show a
Gallagher
couple
died.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel as strongly about
times.
Gallagher.
Well, we had to start taping
Is a
those
watermelon
segments.
in heaven?
I did
Anyhow?
appreciate Carrot Top's tribute to Gallagher. That was obviously super inspired by Gallagher. So.
Kevin Conroy, I saw a cameo by him. It's the best cameo I've ever seen in my life.
You were really left out there by
vulnerable.
yourself without the music. The music.
Keep doing that
And
device.
you were soaring with the music, and then you
fell
fell
out
on
of
your
bed.
face.
I fell out of the bed. The bed ended, and so did I.